Welcome back to Unfiltered the podcast. If you're new here, this is a space for honesty, awareness, healing, and sometimes just laughter when life feels too heavy. Tonight is one of your Thursday awareness episodes. We will slow things down and talk about mental health in a real way. Not a polished version, not the I'm fine version, but the human one. This is not therapy. This is not fixing anyone. This is simply space. I'm joined tonight by some incredible voices, all of our co-hosts, and some incredible guests. Also, over the next hour and a half, we're going to talk about what we carry, what we hide, what broke us, and what's slowly helping us heal. If anything in this episode hits close to home, pause when you need to take care of yourself. And remember, you are not weak for feeling deeply. Let's start gently. And also, if you need to take a break because you can't do this, you don't have to answer every question. So, when someone asks, how are you really? What's the answer you never say?
I'll go
Well,
first.
I'm gonna go. Okay,
Oh,
go.
sorry. The truth. I will not tell you the truth. If something is wrong with me, I'm not gonna say it. And my go-to saying is I'm fine or I'm okay or but I'm not gonna tell you the truth.
And I go off of that too. I would never say the truth, but I would say I'm okay for the moment, just going through regular stuff. But I guess sometimes I do want to say how I'm feeling, but I just don't go deep.
I never say like I'm horrible or but I guess you would say the truth because I also feel like I be going through stuff, but there is somebody that's worse off than me.
I feel like I would say like I don't tell everybody the truth, but if I could say like the truth, I would probably say like I'm becoming like the person I needed in life when like stuff was getting heavy for me personally. So that's what I would say.
Yeah, I'll double back on not telling the truth, because it doesn't matter on what extreme it is, whether I'm doing extremely well or extremely down in the dumps. I'll never, because it's like I never want to put too much on anybody. Like I know everybody has their own thing that they're going through, so it's like, do they are they asking me just because they want to know, or are they really asking me because they're trying to help? That was always my defense.
I felt that.
I always keep to myself. I don't tell people when I'm not fine because I don't need to be a burden to anybody. And that's how I always usually feel.
Yeah, I'm gonna say I think we can all agree that we probably all never say how we really feel. I'm always one to just say I'm good, I'm fine. Even when I'm not fine. And it's just that's something that just comes from childhood of not being able to really like express how I was feeling as a child. And that's really where that came from, really.
I'm gonna agree with you on that. Like it do come from childhood, like not being able to express yourself to really tell a person how I feel. Like, but it depends on the person and who it is. Like, I really just keep a lot of stuff bottled up. Like sometimes, and like, uh, but I do say a lot. I'm fine. I'm okay. Sometimes I don't be fine. Sometimes I don't be okay. 'Cause it's like every listening ear ain't a good ear. You can tell somebody something and thinking they're gonna keep it between you and them, and now the whole world knows.
Thank you guys for that. And yeah, now my turn to answer. When someone, I can relate to all of you guys. When someone asks me how I'm doing, I just say I'm fine. Because again, I don't want to be a burden. Unless you're someone close. unless you are like someone I'm in a relationship with or something like that. Then I'll tell you like, oh my God, this is what's going on. Like, but it's always, I got this. I got this. Don't worry. I'm gonna figure it out. And yeah, like someone said in the chat, it's, I always make a joke to deflect from what I'm feeling because you could be feeling different things and I just be like, nah, I'm good, you know. No, thugs don't cry or something like that. And it's not true. I have, we all have emotions like everyone else. Next question is, what's something small that's been bringing you peace lately?
I would have to say my friends. I feel like I've been having my ups and downs lately just from like family things that I've been having going on and things like that. But I feel like my friends have been doing really good with bringing me like their laughter and just them being themselves. And honestly, that goes a long way for me.
My TikTok family, we call ourselves Mi Familia, aka the social media trailer park of TikTok. I go into their boxes because it helps keep the voices at bay and they keep noticing my growth and it helps me feel a little bit better every time I hop in there.
I would say something similar to what he just said because I deeply love my TikTok family and everybody that I've grown close with. And like at times when I'm feeling low, I know the people that I can go to and they just like be there when I need them to talk. So like I would say yeah that.
For me, it'll probably be anything that I plan out or that I set my mind to when I actually get it done. It's to me, it's nothing. Nothing brings me more joy than actually completing a task or handling business. So yeah, that'll definitely be something small that keeps me happy.
Yeah.
That one. I be when I feel accomplished and complete something, it does bring me joy, and because I'm actually completing what I said I was going to do instead of pushing it or procrastinating. But what also brings me, ease. I would have to say being on TikTok, looking at videos, joining like boxes, and just talking.
Hey, just
Well,
want to
for
see what's
me,
happening, bro.
I'm gonna
That's all.
say I'm gonna say what really brings me peace is like my friends and going to church. I'm gonna be real with you. Like I was so lost. I was so after losing my dad. Like, bro, I didn't know which way to turn, left, right, back, forward. I didn't know, but like, and having like that friend that always talk to and not just put your problems on and just vent to them and they vent to you and like yeah, like and working. Like I promise you, I will work. I literally will work 7 days straight, no days off. Like literally put everything I got into work. Like I promise you.
I'm gonna say I wouldn't necessarily say something small, but this podcast, what we do here, bringing awareness, having fun, reaching people, bringing on Sinister Sunday, being able to find cases and get people's stories out there, it keeps my mind busy, which is something that I need, and I didn't necessarily know that I needed.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to say that what brings me joy now is probably my spirituality, um, growing closer to something, and probably like the small circle of friends that I have, right? That see my growth every day and you know, and whether or not they really know, you know, their input on, the positivity in my life at this point really helps me continue to move forward, right? Because that's not something that I'm used to. I'm used to a lot of toxicity, toxic, like, I just grew up in toxic everything, right? And to just have peace with like peaceful people, positive people, it's just it's a great thing.
Well, something that brings me a little bit of peace. Um, and also I want to let you guys know that I just put myself like this and all of us in boxes so we look more uniform. It's not like, like all like I'm the main focus. No, we're all the main focus tonight because it's on mental health awareness. So, what brings me a little bit of peace tonight, I mean, a little bit of peace, um, lately is literally the little things, just the little things and stability, hearing my daughter laugh, hearing my daughter talk like more words because if you guys didn't know, she is autistic. So her growing and going farther than we thought she can go. Having someone to walk by my side and not judge me for things. Having friends, my friends and things like that. Like that's my support system and that's what gives me peace. The next question is, what's a boundary you set this year that changed your emotional world?
I would have to say putting myself first, no matter the cost, because I feel like now people see me as like I'm mean or like I don't know, but I just don't be going for none. I don't.
For me, it's learning how to say, learning how to say no to people. Um, I'm the type where I would usually give the shirt off my back, and I mean that's just how I was raised. But when you keep dishing out and you not getting that reciprocated, it's almost like how much are you going to have to give if you keep giving and you're not receiving. So it's hard. Trust me, it's hard because if anybody could come to me and ask me anything, and it'd be an automatic yes. But I'm slowly learning how to say no to people.
Facts. I'm gonna go with that same answer. I'm like, yes. I like that. Most definitely.
Focus more on myself, not be so hell bent on wanting a wife, kids, because I had that dream once, but then I got divorced. But yeah, that's about it.
I would say to start like saying stuff more, like start sticking up for myself more and not letting people walk over me, and to stop treating my feelings like like they're too much, because my emotions, like I feel like, yeah, just to like start saying like more stuff, and like to treat my feelings like they're valid, like it's not too much, if that makes sense. But yeah.
So, a boundary I set this year was allowing myself to stop over explaining, stop feeling responsible for managing other people's comfort or expectations. I learned, or I'm learning, I shouldn't say I learned yet, I'm learning that clarity doesn't require justification, and that no doesn't necessarily need a backstory to be valid.
Yeah, for me, it's I can second what the dude said. Brose said, just being too giving, right? Just yes, 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 yes to everything, right? And another thing is like not worrying about what other people think, right? Not having to explain myself to other people for the decisions that I make, right?
I would have to say for my boundary this year is I'm a recovering addict and I suffer from very bad codependency. Literally, friends, relationships, whatever, like, I was in toxic relationships most of my life, and it was because I was codependent. And I didn't see that until about, I want to say, a year and a half to 2 years ago. And, well, a year ago. And it's not letting myself get to the point where I'm just in there for that codependency. So that's my boundary. It's a boundary against myself, and it's like not allowing myself to be codependent of anyone. The fourth question is, what's one thing you do now that you wish you allowed yourself to do sooner? Like patterns you hear,
Um,
rest, saying no, asking for help, things like that.
yeah. Well, I would. Um, I want to say saying no sooner. I learned to say no from my, I want to say past career, but I wish I would have said no sooner, like before I even realized saying no before I say yes. Even if I want to say yes, I want to say no. Like, I wish I was able to do that sooner.
I forgive myself a lot more now. Uh, Back then, I used to be so hard on myself, and it's crazy because I would be so forgiving for everybody else, but when it came to my own mistakes, I would be so hard on myself for them. But now, I want to say probably the last few years, I've been able to forgive myself a lot more, and yeah, I've been definitely well off more for it.
Um, Mine is just talk, open up a little bit more. I used to shut people out when I was quote unquote feeling my friends, my family, but now I kind of see how toxic that was for me. Um, I don't trust easily, but I'm able to open up a bit more now, and I wish I would have been able to do that and had the strength to do that earlier. Because I feel like if I did, I wouldn't have been in such dark places.
I'm slowly learning how to not overshare and to not trust easily because I like to trust easily. And then if you break that trust, you got to work hard to get it back from me.
For me, I would say letting myself be soft and like letting certain people like come in because I feel like I spent so long like being strong by myself that like I forgot softness is like a form of courage.
Oh, that was a good one, Marlena. I would say putting my peace before somebody else's happiness. I feel like I do a lot of people pleasing when it comes to like the people that are around me that I have love for. So just learning that it's okay to say no and sorry to hurt your feelings, but my feelings come first.
Facts. I'm with you on that. Like learning how to tell people like when you do something to me, like normally I wouldn't tell people like, or you did something that really hurt me. Like normally I wouldn't do it, but now I'm okay with telling people like, hey bro, look, I feel some type of way. Like look, I really feel some type of way. Like I'm learning how to tell people like, look, I ain't like that. Don't do that no more. Like at first I just let them do it and be like, whatever. And they be like, oh, I ain't fucking with me no more because I never told them what they did to me. I used to run away from everything, like running. Instead of running, now I'm telling folks like, hey, don't do that. Don't do that.
I'm gonna have to go off of what the biggest said. It's that people pleasing, um, because I'm really big on that. Um, I allow myself to people please just so that I can make everyone happy, but I'm the one suffering in the end. So I just, it's like I tell this to a couple, I've told this to a couple people. It's like you're painting a smile on your face, but you're walking around like a clown because at the end of the day, you're dying inside. You feel like shit inside. You're not very happy. Like you're not happy at all. And it's just, oh, you need me for this? I got you. Oh, you need this? I got you. But at the end of the day, I can't fill from an empty cup. And that's what I should have told myself sooner. Like saying no, stop people pleasing, stop doing this, stop doing that. Like it's you pour from an empty cup, you're gonna end up dry yourself and you can't pour into other people. So by pouring into other people, I'm literally, this is why I did this podcast, this is why I do this, because I'm pouring into you guys so you guys can pour into other people and so forth and so forth. Because you never know when someone might need you to help them with a mental health crisis. What's one thing, what emotions actually do you struggle to name or explain?
Honestly, I feel like I'm very in tune with my emotions. And I feel like I'm very verbal when it comes to how I feel about something. If I don't like it, I'm gonna tell you I don't like it. If I do like it, I'm gonna tell you I do like it. So I feel like I'm very verbal in that way. But I would have to say I struggle with asking for help or accepting help, even if I need it. I don't know if that would be considered to be like an emotion, but that's something that I struggle with.
Yeah, I feel you on that one because I'm the same way. I'm like I'm very outspoken on other things, but when it comes to me reaching out for help or explaining how I really feel or what I really need help with, I'm the quietest person.
So grief is the one I have a hardest time with. It doesn't show up the way people expect it for me. It's not sadness or tears a lot of the time. It's just complete numbness or distraction or a quiet heaviness that flows through me. It's the ache of missing someone while still functioning and still laughing and still showing up and pretty much just being fake for other people because I don't want. I don't know if that it's necessarily I don't want to show them. I feel like I just can't. I don't want to put that on somebody else.
I think for me it's doubt, um, whether it's self doubt or me doubting my abilities or me doubting that something will come to fruition. That's why when we were speaking about things that kind of make us happy, that's why me being able to get stuff done or things done uh, does help me get to my happy place because doubt plays such a major part in my life. You grow up and you give people certain expectations, and sometimes you don't hit them. Then that failure word comes into play, and unfortunately, doubt has played a huge part in my life. I think I've missed out on I don't know how many opportunities because of doubt. So yeah, that's definitely probably the one that I struggle with the most.
For me, I'ma say the emotional overload, like just itself, that makes me like mostly cry without having a reason for it. So for me, it's like sadness, anger, disappointment, frustration, grief. Like it just all hits me at once, if that makes sense. And like I feel deeply for everything. I kind of feel like so. I don't always have the words that fast. So instead of me using my words for it, I would just tear up or cry because like I can't talk about it. So I'ma just cry and
Hold
For
on
me,
before we
it's
hold on one time, one minute. Before we move on, Marlena, I don't know if you need to move to a better place. because you were going in and out, my love, and I want them to be able to hear you correctly. Okay, go ahead. Unlikely.
For me, it's mostly confidence, but it's also a mixture of everything.
Yeah, for me, I can probably sum it up in a couple words. Like, I just bottle all my emotions, all of them. Anything other than happiness and like love, like I just bottle it up. I don't use my words to express it. Um, you know, and that's a bad thing for me because what happens is it ends up making other people feel that I'm just like ignoring them or I don't care about people or things like that. And it's just something that I've just always done, and I mean now at this point in my life now, like I'm working on that a lot more. That's one of my main focuses as far as like my mental health goes, but it's still a little struggle.
Mine has to be my anxiety and overthinking, just because it always happens to me at night. And I've learned this year alone and working with therapy, because therapy actually works if you have a good therapist, to just write words down and write what you're feeling. And even if it doesn't make any sense, you go word by word. Why am I feeling this? How am I feeling this? Um, like who's causing me to feel this? What's causing me to feel this? Things like that nature. But I'm still an overthinker. I'm still anxiety prone. Like there's no if, what's, and when's or buts. Yeah.
For me, I'm gonna say grief, and I'm gonna say overthinking because I do overthink everything. I say everything and trying to tell myself I'm okay when I'm not okay until I just find myself breaking down, having a meltdown. When it finally come out, I'm like, wow, like I really overthink a lot, like a lot about everything. It's like sometimes I try to tell myself, "Well, it's okay," when it's not. I'm not okay until I end up just breaking down. So I'm trying to work on that part. Really, I struggle with that a lot.
What do people often get wrong about your mental health or healing journey? Like what assumptions hurt the most?
For me, I would have to say when people say that I'm mean, because I feel like I'm such a down to earth type of person that like you can come to me, you can talk to me about anything. I'm probably gonna make a joke, we're gonna laugh, but I feel like my healing journey comes off as I'm mean because for one, hurt people, and I feel like heartbreak or like you getting your feelings hurt so many times it just changes a person. So
For me, it's like I'm the strong friend, so they automatically assume that I'm good. Um, like I said, and this is kind of my own fault, but I'm the type that I'm always there for everybody else, but I don't allow anybody to be there for me. So when I do hurt or when I do feel pain, is being the fact that I don't reach out, everybody automatically assumes I'm good, and that's probably what hurts the most.
For
Yeah, I think
me,
Um,
I'm on the same. Oh, yeah, go ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
for me, I'm gonna say people look at me and think that I don't care. Like when I'm one of the most caring people and I have the biggest heart, and I'm always doing for others. I'm always putting others first. And I ask people like, "What make you think I don't care?" They say, "Oh, you just so nonchalant." Like, no, it's just like, oh, like I be in my head a lot. You see what I'm saying? I'm always thinking. So it's like it's not that I don't care, because I do. Like, and I do for a lot of people, and it's just like, I get tired of hearing it. Like, oh, you don't care anyway, or you don't care. Like, it's aggravating.
Yeah, for me, it's probably people seeing me like for what I was and not what I am now, right? For people like, judging me on my past and just assuming that, you know, I'm the same person that I once was instead of seeing the growth, and it affects my mental health in a lot of ways, it makes me have a lot of doubt, it sets me back sometimes. I allow it to set me back in my journey. I would allow it to bring up old, toxic type of like actions that I would used to do, right? Like shutting down, not talking to people. I allow it to affect me in them ways. Um, and that's just something like, I gotta figure out a way to just not worry about if people can't see the growth now and they're worried about what I once was, then apparently they don't belong in my life, right? And I need to like set the boundaries with that for sure.
I felt every word on that you just said. I felt that. I felt that. Especially about your past and where you come from, what you used to do and who you used to be. Like, I ain't that same person no more. I'm not, so I felt that, bro.
Yeah, they always say the worst thing that you can do is remind a man that's trying to be better is remind him of his past. So
It is. It is, bro. Like when I tell people, like, bro, that ain't me. Like, it is. That's the worst thing you can tell a person instead of saying, oh, you know what? I'm proud of you, bro. I can see the change. I can see the growth. I see you. You feel me? Like, that, mm,
yeah, man. Hey, all I say is just keep your head down and keep moving forward, bro. That's the best way to do it. Don't You can't really rely on
I'm
what.
not gonna say. I'm not gonna say keep your head down. I'm gonna say keep your head up. Don't ever hold your head down. Keep it up.
You right. You
But
right.
continue what you were saying. But I agree with you though. But I'm gonna always keep my head held high. I ain't gonna. When you hold your head down, that mean you ashamed. What you ashamed of? I'm not ashamed to be me. Did I make mistakes in my past? Yes, I did. Am I trying to fix it? Yeah, but some things you can't fix. You just gotta forgive yourself. Forgiveness is for you. It's not for everybody else. Once I tell a person, hey, forgive me, I forgave you, I'm letting that go. I'm no longer finna sit here and be like, hey bro, remember this, remember that. No, it's over with. Forgiveness is for you. You gotta learn to forgive people and move forward. And don't ever hold your head down. Always keep your head up.
So people often get wrong like the idea of healing having a finish line. They assume because I can talk about my mental struggles or show up for others or function day to day that I must be better. But what they don't see is that healing doesn't erase the struggles that you're going through. It teaches you how to carry it, and it can be doing well and still be hurting, but both can exist at the same time.
Yes, Jess, you literally took what I had, literally. But I'm like saying something similar. Well, really, I'm saying what Jess said because I feel like when I tell people that I'm healing from things that I've been through or went through in the past, or like I'm just healing in general, they automatically think, okay, you're fine now. You didn't already been through your obstacles, so you're good. You're just fine. So I feel like they don't realize that in reality, I'm still rebuilding myself, and I'm just rebuilding in a way that's quiet, but stronger than before or how it used to be.
I grew up introverted. I've always kept to myself, but nowadays I'm starting to get sick of it, being quiet, not letting others in. So that's the main reason why I'm on the podcast tonight. And sure, I'm an overthinker who's always overanalyzing everything, but even if I put on a fake smile, people just don't really truly fully see the cracks in my armor. And I'm trying to weld all those cracks together.
And like I said to you in messages, I know the people that I chose for this panel are all literally handpicked by me. I know them. They've known me for either a year or years. And I just want to say that for my answer would be people always think because I'm quiet at the beginning that I have RBF, which is resting bitch face. And no, I'm just observing. And I actually scared Quan. I'm going to share this. I actually scared Quan one time
Scared
because,
the fuck out of me.
yes, because I told him everything about him. And he was like, because if you guys didn't know, I literally just figured out that I was an empath. Like, I can feel what you're feeling. I know what you're feeling. Like, and he was like, "Are you a witch or something?" And I'm like, "Nah, I just know. I feel it. Like, I feel it in my spirit, and I'm very in tune spiritually." And I told him, like, "You're going through this, and that, and this is who you are, but this is who you want to be." And he was on a phone call and he was mind blown. He was just like, "What?" So I want to say, like, don't, like, just because I'm serious, I don't, like, when I walk down the street, and I know the people in the comments, one of the people in the comments know this for a fact. When I walk down the street and I have like a straight face on, it's because I don't smile at everyone. You never know who has ill will towards you or who doesn't. So I don't smile at everyone. I have a RBF all the time, but that doesn't mean that I am not okay with you or I don't like you or anything like that. It just means I'm observing. I'm very observant. I'm trying to see how you move. And that's what it is. But people assume the worst. They think, oh my gosh, she's a bitch. Oh my God, she doesn't like me. Nah, I'm cool with everybody. Like whatever. There's no beef over here. I came into 2026 with no drama. Mm-mm. But I just have RBF, and that's it. It's a syndrome. My daughter has it too. We have RBF. But when you isolate yourself, what do you actually need from people instead? Like, is it space or is it safety? What do you need when you isolate yourself? Like, for me, for instance, I just want space. Like, I just need a minute to myself to gather my thoughts. But you guys, what do you guys need?
Honestly, I feel like it depends on what exactly I'm going through. I feel like sometimes I might need space, but sometimes I just need somebody to be there. Like, even if we're not talking per se, just like your presence to be there. Patience, I would definitely say that. And like somebody said in the comments, consistency for sure. Sometimes I even might need a hug because y'all, one thing about it, I'm gonna cry. It don't matter how I feel. If I'm feeling good, I'm gonna cry. If I'm feeling bad, I'm gonna cry. If I'm sad, I'm gonna cry. Like I'm gonna cry about it. So, I'll just being there for me in the moment that I need you to be there.
I feel that. And that's kind of where I'm at. Like when I isolate myself, it's not because I want to be alone, but it's because I don't have the energy to explain what I'm feeling, or I don't have the strength to be okay for other people at that time. Um, it's kind of like isolation is kind of a form of self protection, but not pushing somebody away. It actually, like, I need in those moments I need like a gentle, like you said, a gentle presence but not pressure. I need people who don't demand words or solutions or positivity, but the consistency, like you said.
You said that really well.
Just like a check-in, or a text message or whatever, say hey, just checking on you or whatever.
Let's
But
get a
it's just
clock it for Jess. Let's get a clock it. Yes.
Right, clock it, because you said that perfectly. I'm not gonna tell a story like everything that I was gonna say. You said so.
yeah.
The only thing that I could really add, I can't even really add anything onto that. Just said everything that needed to be said. But for me, if I had to add one thing, I would probably add to it like just a person, like if you can't be there physically, just a person that could just sit on the phone, like just let me know that I'm here. Like we don't even have to talk, but just I'm here can do a lot and can go a long way. And yeah.
Facts, y'all summed that up. I'm gonna be real with you. Y'all said it all. Like I really ain't got nothing to say about it now. Shit, y'all summed that up.
Nah, what my boy from How High say, bro? I need money. Nah, I'm playing. But yeah, nah, just hit the nail on the head. Like I don't know how many times like I've been appreciative of people who just been like, "Yo, are you good? You need anything?" Like that goes a super long way, bro. Like that'll make me want to give you the world just for you checking up on me. Like that's how much I appreciate stuff like that.
Heavy on the give you the world for checking on me for real.
Yeah, or his best friend, because I'm speaking to Greg, Brose, or his best friend just telling him like a joke and him just laughing the pain away.
Nah, facts. And you know what? To be honest, that's why, like, you already know how we rock. You know how I feel about you. But
Hmm.
you've been one of those people from day one, and that's why we still locked in to this day. You don't require anything from me but that relationship that we have. And yeah, like I said, that's why we've been locked in. That's why you know I love you and I got you. And
I
that's why
know,
anything you need, you can ask me, and I got you.
I know. You was about to beat up a couple of my husbands. I know. But
We can't speak on that. That's federal, bro.
no.
She
So,
dry
guys,
snitching. She dry snitching.
oh, I'm a nap. I'm a nap. Hold on, wait, now we have actually a correctional officer on our panel. But no, no, no. What triggers your self-doubt the most? Yeah, I don't know how to answer that, so you guys go first.
For me, it's failure in general. And I know they say you can't be scared to fail, but that's one of the problems that I that I've literally had for a long time. I've always been scared to fail because of the punishment that came. Like I grew up in a heavy Christian home, so a lot of my punishments was either I was getting beat or it was something to that nature. So I was always scared to mess up, especially when I felt like I couldn't go to anybody because I felt like anytime I went to anybody, I was going to be in trouble. So it's yeah, that to me that definitely brings up my doubt a lot because I like I said I know I missed out on so many opportunities just because of doubt alone. Like I'm getting better, I'm starting to take steps to do more things, but it took a lot for me to get here. Like for real, for real.
I feel
For
like mine are triggered when, sorry, Marlena. Mine are triggered when my intentions are questioned. Like when my emotions are minimalized or my growth isn't visible to others in those moments. Like I start to second guess my voice, my choices, whether I'm asking for too much or taking up too much space. I don't want to be a burden to people, like I said before. So that's what triggers me.
Mine's would be failure. Like I'm so scared to fail. Like in everything I do, I try to succeed at everything. Like I try to. It's just failing. Period. Like I don't know. Like I don't want to fail, but I know sometimes, like he said, you do have to fail to succeed because you're not gonna be perfect at everything. But one thing that I feel like failure is not an option when you got people looking at you, depending on you. Like, and I'd be like, oh my god, I gotta go hard. Like, but failure, yes, most definitely.
And it's always worse when it's no longer just you. When you got people depending
Yes.
on you, bro, it's 10 times worse, bro.
I'm talking about what looking up to you like, hey, look, I'm looking at you like, what we gonna do? Like, either we gonna sink or swim. You feel me? Like, I don't want to sink. I don't want to go down. I'm trying to go up. And boy, he hit that on the head though with that failure. Yes.
yeah, I agree with everything about the failure, but I will also add like feeling like love or support has to be earned through perfection or feeling like I have to do something in order to get your love or to get your support when all I ask for really is consistency. As long as I see consistency, then we're good. But if I feel like I have to earn it or I have to do certain stuff to get it, then it triggers me bad and I just pull away from it.
Marlena, you put the nail in the fucking coffin. For real, for real.
Yeah,
Um
for me, it's probably failure, being misunderstood, right? Um, you know, just and probably just people not seeing my growth, right? I'm probably gonna go back to that a lot tonight, but people just not seeing the growth and seeing the change in me as a person, period, right? That's a big trigger.
Bro, can I say something to you real quick? Like, people see it. Some people see it, they just don't want to see it. They still want to see the old you. That's it. That's all they can see. Like, they not growing. So if you growing and they not growing, they not gonna see it. They just ain't gonna
Yeah,
see it. I
facts.
promise you. They not
Yeah,
gonna see
yeah,
it.
yeah. You
You know
right.
what I'm saying? Because people look at me all the time like, oh, you know what? I thought you was unalive or in jail. Like, I'm looking at him like, bro, what? You feel me? Like, they not gonna see it.
Yeah, you right. Definitely right.
What I want to say to you guys about that is that's a them problem. Don't forget, that's not a you problem, that's a them problem.
Facts.
I would
I
have to
think that's what.
agree.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry. I would have to say I agree with everybody. I don't really have nothing to say. Y'all kind of took the cake with that.
Hey, Yovi, if you want to say something, you can.
Nigga, move your goofy ass.
Yeah, I was pretty much gonna say like failure, like everyone said, but also getting bored or out of sync of whatever I'm trying to focus on, and basically just giving up.
I want to say, what triggers my self-doubt the most is, this is gonna be, luckily I have my camera on because if I cry, I can't see it, but, my oldest, my 10-year-old was taken away from me when I was in jail. Like she was given by the courts to her dad. And I was doing dumb stuff. I was not sober. I was not recovered or recovering. So at the time I didn't understand why. But what triggers my self-doubt now is with my youngest daughter. Um, just like not being a good enough mom, failing her and not putting her in the right things that she needs to learn, not doing the right things that she needs to do. When something new comes up with her, it's like, okay, what did you see or what did you do that you're learning these things? Like, and it's hard. It's hard being a mom to someone who's autistic. Especially I'm a first time mom of someone who's autistic. And I'm trying. Like I am trying my hardest, but that is my biggest failure to fail that girl because I know she can be great. And most of you guys know her on this panel, if not all. And that little girl is amazing. Like from she loves to love and she sometimes she don't love nobody. But I want her to be great. I don't want her to be anything like me because I was a scumbag. Like I was a scumbag growing up. I was a scumbag in my 20s and now in my 30s I'm trying to change. Lord, I'm healing. I am not healed, but I was a scumbag and I don't want her to be anything like me. My 10-year-old, I just restarted our connection and I don't want her to be anything like me either. Like I want you to see what I went through. So I feel like I failed my 10-year-old, but she's learning a lot from what I went through. And she's about to be 3 in a month, and I'm looking at the time and I'm like, dude, and also I don't want to be like my mother. Like that's like my biggest fear. I don't. ever want to be like my mom. So that was one of the main reasons why I quit using and I stayed on the straight and narrow just because I didn't want to be like my mother. And that's another story for another day, but actually in 2 weeks, tune in because that's a story for that day. But um yeah, nah, my biggest fear is failing my kids. My kids are everything. My kids are my whole life. Like when I tell you, I would literally, my kids are my whole life, and failing my kids is my biggest fear. Fuck, I'm sorry, I'm about to cuss, but fuck other people, but failing them, that's my biggest fear. Um,
I felt
so
that.
this part, go ahead. What happened? What you say,
I
Quan?
said I felt that the whole kids part. Yes, I felt that. Like my
I know.
kids are my best friends. Like those are my best friends. Like I would do anything for my kids. Like support them. Don't want to fail them at all. Like no, but I felt that.
Thank you, Quan. So this part isn't for social media. This is just for truth. Who is the one person you can fully break down without shame and why?
So the person I can fully break down to is my sister, and was my mom when she was still here. But my sister doesn't she doesn't rush me through my emotions or try to make sense of them. I feel like she kind of understands them in a way. But she allows me to fall apart without turning it into a problem that needs fixing. She can be there when I need somebody. I don't have to explain why I'm overwhelmed or justify why something hurts. But my feelings are enough on their own.
So I would say my grandma, because I feel like she's been there for me for a lot, and she like lets me feel without making me like defend it or hide how I feel. Like she'll let me express it, and like also, and before y'all be like, ugh, Marlena. But y'all, I would honestly say the person that I'm talking to now, like, I know I'd be like, I'm happy when I get into relationships, but like, I've honestly never felt this way truly, truly before, because I feel like he doesn't judge me based off my emotions, but like he lets me unravel without trying to fix me, and I just feel safe, and I feel like I'm being seen with him. So that's what I got to say.
I mean, if we keeping it a buck, I don't even mean to be cheesy, but it's you. Like I consider you my best friend for a reason. Like you know stuff about me nobody else knows. Like I don't like I try to be as open with like my wife, my parents, my siblings. But to be honest, I think I've opened up more to you than anybody else outside of God. Yeah.
You're
So
just
yeah,
you're just saying that because of death threats. That's all.
anyway, anyway, nah, but I'm dead ass though. Like I
Yeah,
don't I don't think I don't think I've opened up to anybody else like I've opened up to you, and that's real shit.
Same here, Greg. Same here.
I'm gonna have to say my best friend. My mom as well, but I would have to say my best friend. This has literally been my best friend for like ever. Like this is my very first best friend, and she is gonna be my last best friend. But just from the things that we have experienced together, and even things that like growing up I might have did that I was ashamed to like come and talk to her about, and then I got older and I told her about certain things, and she's like, bruh, you could have been told me that. But I was afraid to lose her as my friend, so I kind of held it back. But yeah, I would have to say my best friend for sure. That one there, mm-hmm.
Granted, I don't really know this person personally, but her username's now Aquaman. She lives in Florida. And I feel like if I talked to her about anything, she'd understand me.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to say, probably my daughter's mother. Um, like she doesn't push me to open up. You know, like she allows me to like just express what I need to express in whatever time frame that is that I need to do it. Right. Um, she doesn't like really judge me on the goods and bads. Really, you know, it's just like a mutual, like a really like mutual friendship. Like it's like I've known her probably, I don't know, probably 20 years. So, um, you know, that's the one person that I like feel very comfortable with explaining anything that I'm going through, and know that her statements to whatever I'm going through are not going to be biased, right? And that's a very, very important thing for me, you know.
Well, I'm gonna say my dad when he was here. Like I could talk to my dad about anything. My dad was my best friend, bro. I miss my dad. Like I really don't open up to people like that. And it's a special somebody that I've been talking to though, for real, for real. Like she been there, like really having me, like for real, for real. And my dad, like family, it's not a go-to. Like I don't go to them about no type of problems. If I'm dealing with something, if I'm going through something, I just keep it to myself. Like, like I tried with my mom, but it's like if I tell her how I feel, she say I'm complaining. I'm like, how am I complaining by expressing myself? Like, and I be like, this why I don't really talk to my mom like that. Like, I could be around her, but I can't express myself to her. I can't express my real feelings and tell her like, look, I'm feeling this way. Like, it's just something that I can't do. But my dad and the person I've been talking to, like, honestly, like for real, I can talk to them about anything, and I can be myself. Like, I can be me.
I want to say, and again, for you guys, like, there's two people in here who know him, but my grandfather was my rock. That's one person that I talk to every night, regardless if he's still on earth or he's heavenly bound. Like, that's my man's for real. Like, he's my rock. Um, and also Greg knows parts of me that have never even, like, he's known Kay when she was just Kayla and on rugs, Kayla, and she was getting hit by dodgeballs in the field. Kay when she dislocated her pinky. Kayla when she was. He knows all parts of Kay, and that's why he's my best friend. And although sometimes we butt heads, but we always come to a conclusion. And we might not talk every day, but when we do, it's like nothing ever changed. And that's the kind of best friend that that matters. And but yeah, my grandfather for sure. Like my grandfather is like, yeah, grandpa was dope. My grandfather was he was funny. He was like, dude, everything. Like he was everything to me. My lawyer, everything, and I could speak to him about anything. All I know is that if my grandfather was still alive to this day, I would have not had those two marriages and my kids would not exist. But but yeah, my grandfather was my life. So what part of your childhood or past still shows up in how you love or trust? I'm gonna get this out the way because it's very hard. Um, what my father did to me when I was 12, and I'm just gonna leave it at that. It shows up in how I love and how I trust Not my grandfather, like my biological father. Um, I don't trust many men, and I don't love as deeply as I can. And when I do, I fuck up. So yeah.
I'm gonna go and get mine out of the way too. So, for me, it's probably the absence of my mother in my childhood. She was addicted to drugs. Um, she was in and out of my life a lot, and that still shows up in my life today. How I love other people, and the toxic like things that I do, like I'll push people away, you know, significant others, whatever it is, and I'll push them away. And like in my mind, the way my mind works because of that as a child, like if these people don't try to like push back to my pushing of them, I just like usually like, well, at one point I did like I just cut them off, right? I just start cutting them people out of my life because it makes me feel like, well, they don't care, right? But that's really just the toxic issues that I deal with from childhood, from my mother being absent in my life, and it definitely still shows up, still to this day, in different ways.
I have to say, people promising me things in the past and never fulfilling it. So I try my best not to make promises now, but try to own up to whatever I say as much as possible for myself or for whoever around me. So being there for others, I do my best to because no one was always there for me. They would always say they'll be there for me, but when it was time to show up, I was on my own.
Okay, so I wasn't going to say this, but if Kay can like say what her stuff, then I can say mine. Um, what shaped me in my childhood, I would say, being, if at the age of 6, it really rewired me and taught me that not everybody who smiles in your face is safe, and that not every touch is really love. So now I love deeply, but I can't trust people to be around me. So I have to trust you slowly in person. Like, I can't just directly get around you in person because of the trust that I like. Just from going through that, it still traumatizes me at times. So like, um but it's not really, it's out of fear, but not out of fear. It's just from the wisdom that I got, and then the pain that forced me to learn early and to learn on my own. But yeah.
I think for me it probably was like my first real breakup. Um, and Kay knows this because she knows everything about me. But my first breakup was back in high school, and that broke me, like broke me. Um, because especially like when it comes from my mother's side, I love hard. And that's like I'm married now. You ask my wife, and she can tell you that that's damn for sure. He still is like that. But I know sometimes with that, it also like you can. Everybody is talking about trust. Your trust can easily be betrayed, and like that first breakup, like that was my first like real hard love, and then it's like the way I was slimed out was crazy. Um, so yeah, I think definitely even till to this day, like I said, I'm happily married. Been happily married for over 5 years now. But sometimes, and I know it's nothing but the devil. Sometimes those thoughts could come back up, and I know it's up to me to deal with them, and I am still dealing with them. But yeah, that's definitely something that still kind of haunts me to this day.
One thing for me is Not many people know this, but back when I was 19, I had the opportunity to be a father to three. But the situation would have been wonky because I was 19 and the mother was 15, 16. And between both pregnancies, I told her I didn't want them because I felt like I was too young to be a dad at that age. But now here I am at 32, ready to be a dad, and yet I'm not financially stable at the moment.
So I'll say that mine is like the belief that connection and trust has to be earned. So I learned early that how to be attentive and accommodating and emotionally aware, but not just like out of kindness, more so survival. I became someone who learned how to read rooms and, anticipate people's needs and to stay composed in situations, so that I wouldn't be a burden or I wouldn't create, conflicts. And because of that, loving sometimes feels safest when I'm giving more than what I'm receiving. Like I'm a giver. I trust slowly, and not because I don't want, that closeness, but because I learned that stability can change without warning, and sometimes true colors don't show themselves right away.
So, with all that being said, what coping mechanism once saved you but now causes harm? I want to say, if you know me well enough, I'm a runner, I'm a track star. Like before kids, even with my child, even with my oldest, I ran literally different cities, literally different states. Greg knows this about me. I've been to Vegas, I've been to Miami, I've been, and that was my coping mechanism. It was runner. Nope, nope. Well, I don't like what's going on. I'm just gonna hide my feelings and just leave, get out, nope, But it causes me harm now because I I'm about to be 35. I don't want to run anymore. I rather, instead of running from the situation, just face it head on and just be like, you know what? I'm good on you. I'm good on this. I'm good on that. That's it. And if someone or something or whatever the case may be is on some like, oh, well, no, I'm good. And my block finger nowadays is super strong. Like, oh, we not friends no more? Okay, cool. We blocked. But I talk it out first. And I've learned that too. Like, I've also learned like before I wouldn't talk, I just react. I'd crash out. And I've learned to talk it out, but like, hey, this third, the fourth, and it doesn't cause me as much harm than me just crashing out before. So in the past year, I've grown a lot, and it's just because life be life sometimes. But what about you guys? What coping mechanism once saved you, but now causes harm?
For me, it was food. Like everybody has their drug of choice. Some is alcohol, some is mine was literally food. Um, I would eat when I was happy. I would eat when I was sad. I would eat when I was lonely or anxious. I would eat. That would be my way to cope with everything. And yeah, it it got bad. And the only thing that used to kind of save me earlier was number one, I used to drink a lot of water, and number two, like I was young, so I was active. But I was well over 500 pounds at one point. Like it got horrible, like really horrible. But that was my coping method. So now, of course, now that I'm older, next week I'll be 35. So yeah, I do got a couple of complications, but I'm not where I want to be, but thank God I'm not where I used to be. 'Cause like I said, I was well over 500 pounds at one point. Now I'm like down to the threes, but we still got a long way to go. But we getting there. But yeah, like I said, now, bro, it's a lot of complications that came with that, and it's scary because hey, I know a lot of people that I grew up with. I'm from Irvington, so a lot of people, bro, that I grew up with ain't here no more. Um, so yeah, that'll probably be it for me.
I'm gonna say that mine is emotional self resilience. So, at a young age, I learned how to carry things on my own and to process quietly, to not need much from anybody else. And for a long time, the independence kept me functioning. It helped me to like survive moments where the support felt like it wasn't there. It wasn't available. It was unreliable. And now that same coping mechanism, it I feel like it causes harm to me. It shows that I'm shutting down instead of reaching out, or that I'm minimizing my needs, and I'm convincing myself that asking for help is a weakness or an inconvenience. Because when I'm overwhelmed, I tend to shut down. I isolate. And like I said earlier, it's not because I don't want that connection, but it's because I don't want to risk being misunderstood or disappointed. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for me, it's probably like ghosting, right? Moving. I moved so many times, like thinking that, you know, I don't want to deal with this, or, whatever it is that I was going through at that time, right? My thoughts always, I'm just gonna start new. I'm gonna move somewhere. I'm gonna start over. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. I'm just gonna ghost everybody from that, chapter in my life or whatever it is. And really, that just causes more harm, right? It causes more issues, and eventually, it causes my mental health to like drain even more, because at that point, like, I'll move and then now I don't know nobody, or and what happens then? I start isolating, right? And and I just start deteriorating even more, like in my mental health at that point. um so like now I've just learned not to like that's not the answer. Like when my mind starts to go that way, I just tell myself that's not the answer, right? I got to find another solution to this issue.
I'm gonna say for me, it's smiling. I feel like when I was younger, it kind of worked out for me because people could tell that I was awkward. Cause like I don't know, even when it's like a serious moment, I'm probably gonna smile, and it's not because I like think it's funny, but I'm just awkward and I don't really know what to say at that point, so I'm just smiling. But like now, if I am like getting into my mode where I'm getting awkward and I'm just smiling, now people think I'm not like I take everything as a joke, and it's like I'm not taking it as a joke. I know it's serious, but I don't really know what to like. You put me in an awkward situation, so all I can do is smile. Like I don't know what else to do. Either I'm finna smile or I'm finna cry. Pick one. I'm gonna do one or the other. But I always choose to like try to smile through it, not because I'm not taking it serious, but just because I really don't be knowing what else to do.
I would say basically what almost everybody else said, but for me, I would add on to like carrying everything alone, and then emotionally shutting people down, physically shutting people down, and then mentally shutting people down, because I feel like it protected me then, because I felt like, oh, well, I can just get through this obstacle by myself and I'll be good. Or if I shut them down, then they can't know nothing about me. They can't use this against me. But now it just really, I feel like, blocks others from holding me, like trying to comfort me and try to talk to me, because I'm so used to shutting you out, or being alone and everything, that now that I have somebody willing to go through this with me or want me to open up to them, sometimes it's hard, but then sometimes I also can do it.
For me, it's what Jess, Marlana, D-Lock, and the Biggest said. I mostly shut people out. I sometimes physically shut people out. Back in the day, I used to smile a lot, but now I don't hardly ever because my teeth are so bad and I don't like my smile.
For me, I'm gonna agree with everybody, especially K, because I'm a runner. I'm a track star. I will run from everything, but now I'm really learning to face like my problems head on instead of just running. But and definitely smiling. Like I do smile. Like I promise you, you could tell me something and I sit here and smile, and folks be like, "Bro, are you laughing?" No, I'm smiling. Like some people like I can hear you smiling through the phone. Like that don't mean nothing. I just like you know what I'm saying. Like I don't know what to say. But I'm definitely a runner though. Like definitely.
So let's take a breath, drink some water, and if you're listening and this feels heavy, you're not alone. This section may stir things up. Answer only what you can. You're not alone. But what memory changed your mental health forever? Just to start it off, I'm going to start by saying, when I was in one memory that changed my mental health forever was when I was in active addiction. I think I spoke about this before. I am, or I am a recovering also cutter, and I self-harm. I used to self-harm, and that was one of the things I was doing while in active addiction because I was just disgusted by myself. And my daughter was in the next room, and I was in the bathroom ready to end it all. And give me a second, guys. Whew. And as I was gonna take what I think was my last cut because I was gonna go straight up like my main vein. I saw my mom in the mirror, and mind you, she's been unalived, passed away since I was 3. Like she passed away in April. I was my birthday was in June when I turned 4. Saw my mom shooting up actually in the mirror, like clear as day. And I dropped it so fast because I was spooked and I was like, no, I don't want to be like her. And I haven't done it since, but it was just like, that's one memory that changed my mental health forever.
I would say basically, well, so for me, it would be losing my parents. Just like the fact that I didn't lose one parent, but two. And I was like, I wouldn't say I was the closest with my dad, but I had a relationship with both of my parents. So for me, it was like losing my parents, and just carrying grief like at a young age, but like still old enough to remember. So it kind of shaped me in a way where I was silent, but I had some strength, but I was still aching, and I was just going through a lot mentally, physically, and emotionally that I couldn't speak. I was going insane in the brain, and I had to get like, yeah.
I say that mine was also losing my mom this past year. Um, so there's like a clear before and after in my life now, and who I was when she was here and who I became when she wasn't is completely different. And after caring for her for almost 5 years and just not having her here anymore, I became numb. And to this day, I still feel numb. And it's just I don't know how to live life without her. Like, my life was caring for her and being there for her. And for a long time, until just recently, I blamed myself. I blamed myself for her not being here and for not doing more, and for, just I felt like I failed her.
For me, I think it was when um me and my wife were dating, and I remember this day like it was yesterday, unfortunately. But I was meeting a couple of members from her side of the family, and we were supposed to be going out because it was her grandmother's birthday. And mind you, I'm working two jobs at that time, so I didn't even have time to eat, and I was kind of nervous, so I didn't want to eat. So I was hungry, and it is what it is. We end up going to a buffet, and yeah, we were all seated, and I'm like, I'm going in 'cause like I said, I literally haven't eaten all day, and now I'm a little more comfortable because my girl is here. I'm making her laugh. I'm making her mom laugh. So it's comfortable, and out of the blue, I hear, I think it was her aunt that said, if he keep eating like that, he gonna kill himself. And it was just this hush that came over like the whole restaurant. And thank God, she's not here no more. But thank God for my wife's grandmother, because when I say she went in on her, she's like, "Yo, if you don't watch your mouth, yada yada yada." I mean, she went to bat for me, but it's like I've never been more embarrassed in my life. And like, I don't know if what's that movie, Inside Out? Like, embarrassment, yeah, that was me. I And it's crazy now because I've grown to the point now where I can kind of use that as fuel, because that was definitely one of the determining factors of like, yo, I really need to get my shit together. Uh, but yeah, that was definitely one of probably the lowest moments of my life. Like, I didn't express it then because, of course, knowing me, I'm not breaking down in front of nobody. But as soon as I got home and I got to myself, when that, like I said, that broke me. That was one of the lowest moments of my life.
Yeah, for me, it was probably finding my brother, deceased from an overdose. When we were kids, we were real close. Um, and then like I went to prison when I was 16. To like prison, and we kind of like went our separate ways at that time, and so there was some years that we weren't really, you know, very close. And then about when I was 25 when he passed away. Around that time we had started building our relationship again. I was going there a lot, seeing my nephew and stuff like that. And it was literally probably, I think, not even 90 days from the time when my grandfather passed away, which was who raised him. And that was really, really hard because, I never always looked up to my brother as the one that was successful, right? The one that beat the addictions and, really didn't fall into that like trap, right? And to like see that, it just, I don't know, it definitely did something to me. I really don't even really know how to explain it, but that's definitely has to be mine.
Back when I was married, I went to my little sister's birthday, and this was like, this was, I think, before I got married to my ex-wife. I talked some smack, And next thing you know, my mom, dad, and two sisters showed up at the house I was living in over there in Ohio. And they were like, come on, grab your stuff, we're going home. And then I was bawling my eyes out. They, next thing you know, my mom had me give her my keys to my '02 Ford Explorer. She drove it across state lines, and on the title it said gift, and ex-wife and her mom said I could legally press charges. So we called the cops, and the cops told me I could only put out one warrant, and I put it on my mom because she was the one who drove my car from Ohio to Kentucky. Next thing you know, she comes over while having a warrant on her head and told me that my grandma passed away, and that was back in 2017, and I just bawled my eyes out.
So what heartbreak or loss do people assume you're over, but you're not? And grief doesn't follow timelines. So to start it off, oh, sorry. To start it off, I want to say, I've noticed a lot of my family has, like, I keep count in the many years of, that my grandfather has passed away because he was literally the rock of our family. And, every birthday, every, like, his anniversary of being unalived, I always post him. It might be the same picture, but I always remember him. I remember him in songs I play, and I'm not over it. I He was an amazing man, and it's just I don't maybe they're grieving in their own way because grief has very different faces, but that's just one loss that I can't that's it's been my goodness, it was 2000 and I want to say 2012, so we're going on what, 13 years? 13, 14 years, and I still, no, 2013, so we're going on 13 years, yeah. So it's something I can never get over. It's just, he was literally what I hold every man to his pedestal. Like, yeah, don't get me wrong, he was a cheater, he was this, he was that, he was things that I learned after I was all grown, but that man was literally, I know you're not supposed to have anyone in front of, like, I don't speak about religion or politics on here, but you're not supposed to have anyone in front of who you believe God is. But that man was like a god to me. And even learning that, I hold everyone, like, I involve myself with, like, relationship wise to his pedestal because that man had 5 kids with the same woman. And even my grandmother, like, my grandmother, that loss was a big hit, but that's, yeah.
I was just gonna say, heavy on the grief has no timeline. It's no straight line. Um, but I'm gonna say that the loss that some people assume, and I want to say that these people probably haven't gone through grief like this, and that's why they assume that. But is the loss of my mom. You know, it's been less than a year. Time has passed, and from the outside, it can look like I'm functioning and laughing and moving forward. But grief doesn't move. Like I said, grief doesn't move in straight lines. It doesn't follow a timeline. Just because I don't talk about it every day doesn't mean that it isn't still with me. And what a lot of people don't see is how that loss lives in quiet moments. It's the decisions that I wish I could run by her, the milestones that feel incomplete, like the holidays or whatever. You know, nothing's the same. And in the ache of like realizing there are parts of my life that she'll never witness, and you know, unless you feel it, you don't know that that kind of heartbreak, it doesn't fade. It just changes shape.
I can feel to like exactly what Jess is saying and to what the person is saying in the comments. They said Tom definitely doesn't heal because if anything, Tom makes it hurt more. And I would say like what Jess said, losing my mom more than my dad, like I feel like that hurts more if that makes sense. And as time goes on, it does hurt way more because I'm missing the guidance that I had, the safety that I felt, and the love that I can still feel. And just like, especially on holidays, I feel like it was certain stuff I would do that no longer is a tradition anymore in my household. I don't do certain stuff that I got to do as when I was younger because it just doesn't feel the same. So, and just the loss like of who I was before all like the trauma that I've been through touched me, you know, just the girl who trusted freely and I just laughed without looking over my shoulder, which now like just all changed, if that makes sense. But yeah.
I would have to agree. I would say, the loss of my grandfather. I feel like he was my dad in a way. Um, I do know my dad, and like I have a relationship with him now, but we just started like building our relationship. But for my grandfather, that was like the only dad I knew growing up. So it was like losing him. I feel like it's for one, it's still fresh, and then it's just like looking at all the stuff that he won't be able to like see me do. He's not gonna see me be able to like start my family. This was the person I had that was supposed to walk me down the aisle when I get married and like stuff like that. Just having to reform myself with accepting that they're no longer here. But like everybody said, grief has no timeline. So
Yeah, I think for me, yeah, it was definitely my grandmother. And I lost her back in 2020. And it's crazy because that's when COVID had hit, or when it like first even started. And I had literally had COVID that week, and bro, I was fighting for my life. And then I get a call from my aunt, and they tell me that my grandmother had passed, bro. Yeah, that kind of broke me because my grandmother was my best friend. Um, and it's crazy because at that time, um, I was living with her, and I moved in to kind of help her out because she had lost a lot of her mobility. Um, so I got rid of my place and I moved in with her. And wherever you seen her, you seen me, and vice versa. It was like even when I was with my wife, it was a running joke that my grandmother was my girlfriend at one point. It was crazy. But literally, it's just because that's how close we were. And like I said, wherever I went, she was. And wherever she was, I went. And then when I lost her, it was, bro, my whole world went to shit. Um, and even to this day, like when I'm going through stuff, sometimes I'll just feel like a gentle touch on the shoulder. It's almost like that's her way of kind of reminding me, like, yo, she's still here. Because yeah, she got me through everything. Um, yeah, besides Kayla, that was one of the people I would talk to about everything. That's just the kind of relationship we had, and yeah, God knows I still miss her.
No, I didn't cry when my grandpa on my dad's side passed, as in my dad's dad. But I did almost cry when I read the eulogy that I wrote on my phone that I read with one of my cousins.
So, um, what's what's a truth about yourself that you had to accept that hurt but also freed you? I'm going to say that and I learned this a couple of months ago, and that's why I made one of I made it being I made it like my bingo card. I can be a little messy sometimes, and I'm a people pleaser. And learning that actually freed me, and someone actually in this like in this room, I want to say that like in this like live actually made me see that like you're a people pleaser. You're just you want to please people, and it freed me because it's like I don't owe y'all nothing. Like not y'all as in the people on the panel or the people in the live, but I don't owe who I was pleasing anything. I don't need to people please. Like I'm like what do you do for me that I have to be okay or whatever? And then the messiness that um I left that in 2025 along with so many other traits that I don't like about myself. But what about you guys?
Heavy on the people pleasing because one of the things that I had to realize about myself is that I was selfish. And I'd rather you call me the B word than call me selfish. That's how much of a people pleaser that I was. Like I said, I was at the point I give you the shirt off my back, literally. So the last thing I would want anybody to do was to call me selfish. But when I realized that, I'm not living for me, I'm living for somebody else. If I go, like, I didn't realize how many lives I affected by doing what I was doing and basically eating. Like, I was literally choosing food over all of my relationships, over my life period. And I had to realize that that had to deal with me being selfish. Um, so yeah, like I said, once I did realize about myself, a lot of stuff changed. Um, like I said, I'm nowhere near where I want to be, but I'm so far from where I used to be. Um, yeah.
What y'all two said, yes, I'm a big people pleaser, and it took me some time to realize it, but after being on social media in general, I could say that, well, not just social media, in general, I would do stuff like I would say one thing that I felt, and then my actions would show something else because I wanted to please somebody, and I just, and also I would say I would do stuff just to be liked by people. And that was a hard truth for me because I used to be like, no, I'm not. I'm not trying to be liked by this person. But in reality, it was that I wanted to be liked so bad by certain people that I would cover up how I truly felt, or things that I would say just for me to continue to be liked by a person. And that was a hard pill to swallow for me personally. But now, going into 2026, I said, it's no more of that. If I feel this way, I feel this way. And if you can't swallow what I say, then it is what it is. Whoop de doo, as they say.
I'm
I'm
sorry.
big
Can you
on.
give me the question one more time?
Yeah, I got you. I said, what's the truth you had to accept about yourself that hurt, but it freed you in the end?
Um,
Can you repeat the question again? I'm sorry, guys.
So, what's the truth? What's like one truth? I'm gonna rearrange the question. What's one truth you had to accept about yourself that hurt, but when you accepted that, it freed you?
I'll go real quick. Putting somebody else's needs over my own, right? Which is, the same thing as people pleasing in a way, but I'll push my feelings and the way I feel to the side to like please somebody else, right? And that's something that I've done for a long time. Uh, and a lot of times it doesn't end well because what happens is it ends up making me like go into a dark place eventually, right? Because my needs aren't being met. My mental health is not coming first, right? Somebody else's is. And once I realized that about myself and I started to make some changes and just, like somebody has said, like if I say how I feel and you don't like it, that's a you problem at that point, my mental health has to come first. I'm not saying that I don't care about other people or their needs too, but as people, like we need to put ourselves first and make sure that we're filling our cup and making sure that we're in a positive mindset. And since I've been doing that, that's a big change for me. And it's definitely changed a lot in my life and just my mood, period. Like I wake up now and I'm just like in a better space than I once was.
Kind of go.
You definitely hit it on the nose with that one. That's exactly. It's weird how we all saying things differently, but we all feel the same way, and that hit it like right on the tee. That's exactly. There's nothing more for me to even say. That's exactly how I feel and how I've been making changes, and it's been working.
Most definitely, I agree with that. I definitely agree with that.
Yeah, mine is, that you can't heal by constantly being strong or putting everyone else first. So kind of like what you guys are saying. Um but the realization hurt because it forced me to see how often I ignored my own needs to feel safe or to feel loved. And what freed me was understanding that I don't have to earn, rest or support through suffering. I'm allowed to take up space. I'm allowed to set boundaries. I'm allowed to be worthy, even while I'm still healing.
Yeah, y'all took the cake. I can't even say anything. Y'all, ooh, because what you said, that was good. That was good.
I'm a people pleaser, and that's about it.
So, I had a lot of questions for you guys, and I'm looking at the time and stuff, but they all hit. So, I'm just gonna say this is not about reliving the pain, it's about honoring survival because everyone on this panel, and even in the comments, you guys have survived something. What do you wish someone said to you at your lowest moment?
I wish
Um,
someone told me that it doesn't matter what anybody feels or says, just keep going, keep pushing.
I would say that it's okay to not be okay and to give yourself the same grace that you would give somebody else.
Facts. I agree. I agree with that. I definitely agree with that. Like for real, for real. It's okay.
For me, it's just two simple words: you matter. Like that. That's all I would have needed to hear.
For me, it would be probably um you don't have to be brave right now. You can just be you.
That's what I was gonna say. Is that I wish somebody wouldn't or would have told me, that I didn't need to be strong in that moment, and that falling apart wouldn't make me a burden or a disappointment, and that my pain made sense, and I was allowed to rest inside of it, and that I wasn't alone even when I couldn't see a way forward. Yeah.
Yes,
You
yes.
nailed that, Jess. You nailed that for real, for real. I felt that. I felt that in my soul.
Just that's the first time I've ever heard the phrase "pain made sense." Like that's fire.
Yeah.
That's fire. I'm if you don't copyright it, I might. I'm just telling you right now. So
All yours.
Not necessarily any set of words, just words of affirmation in general help.
One thing I wish someone would have said to me when I was at my lowest was, what I heard a lot in the NA rooms, hurt people hurt people. And, that the person who was hurting me because they were hurting. So I had to realize it's just a cycle, it's never ending. And you hurt people and then you start to hurt people by your actions. So I also wish they would have told me to run, leave, get out. But instead they said, nah, you good, you're married, you got this. But it wasn't like that. It was something different. So yeah, run and also that hurt people hurt people.
That was a good one. For real, for real.
What or who pulled you back when you didn't think you would make it? Um, it sounds very strange to say this, but God and jail pulled me back when I didn't think I was gonna make it, when I was in active addiction, because I should have been unalived a long time ago. The way I was going, the way I was using, the way I was using and also taking and going cold turkey at the same time and just doing it on my own. Like, yeah, God in jail. Like, yes, people see jail as, oh my God, no, but that kept me alive. So that, my kids, but honestly, if it would have not been for God and putting me in the wrong place at the wrong time, I would have not ended up in jail and clean and sober and doing what I gotta do.
So for me, I would say of course God and my faith. And my purpose on why I believe that I was placed here and what I want to do in the future, which is pediatrics. Like I love kids. So, like, just remembering what I want to do in life and like how I just remembered how I want to heal like small hearts, hold little hands, turn pain into gentle care. I feel like I stayed here because the world still needs me to turn heart not heart, hurt into tenderness.
Mine was or is, I should say, um my sister, and the people who show up constantly without pressure and expectations. They remind me that my life matters even when I couldn't feel it myself, or even when I didn't see it myself. On the days that where that wasn't enough, routine, responsibility, moments of connection, the quiet realization that I didn't have to have everything figured out to stay. That's what anchored me and helped me choose, just one more day.
I would say my friends pouring into me when I didn't have it in me to pour into myself, and also to kind of piggyback off Marlena, the fact that I'm a teacher. So like I know that kids look at me every day. They look up to me. They are excited to see me. I am a reason for their purpose in a way, and I don't take that lightly.
For me, I'm gonna say it was my circle and definitely my wife. Um, Two things growing up that my pops always said that you're gonna have to be when you get your own is a provider and a protector. Um, I can provide, and it was always vice versa. I was a protector, but I wasn't a great provider. Now I'm a great provider, but it's no way I could have been a great protector with how big I was. How can I protect anybody? And I couldn't even protect myself. So having that in the back of my mind is like, you got a family now. Like I said, you're not only doing this for you, you're doing this for everybody. So that was one of the things that kept me motivated to keep me going. And like I said, my circle. Um, Again, I can always be there for anybody, but I don't really allow anybody to be there for me. But those who are or who do know everything that goes on around me, they definitely kept me uplifted, and I definitely appreciate them for that.
I'd say God and listening to music.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to definitely go with my religion first. God's always I've learned like that has to come first, and second to that is probably you know the people that didn't give up on me. Like at my worst. Like I lost a lot of people. At my worst, and the ones that were like still here when I climbed back up, really made me remember my purpose, right, in life, and it kind of like reset that fire, inspired me to continue to move forward and not worry about, you know, like somebody was saying earlier too, right? So in a way, like not really worrying about the ones that did leave when I was at my bottom. Worry about the ones that are still here because they're the ones that matter. Apparently they're the ones that have my best interests at heart. And that really helped me a lot to climb back up.
Hey, can you repeat that question? Because I'm like literally in the middle of doing something, but I'm listening, but I got a lot going on in my background right now.
Yeah. What or who pulled you back when you didn't think you would make it?
To be honest with you, I'm gonna say my dad. My dad, like every step of the way, like my dad was literally my best friend. Like when I said I couldn't do something or I felt like I just wanted to give up on something, he was always there to keep pushing, to keep going for me. So yeah, that's the sucky part.
I'm gonna say myself. I keep myself pushing. I'm not very verbal with when I'm at my lowest or when I feel like I'm struggling. So I'm really to myself, and I'm the one who keep myself going, and I try to motivate myself mentally and thinking positive about things. I don't really turn to anyone, so I wouldn't like reach out not one bit to anyone. I would keep everything to myself and push myself, and it's it works, but sometimes I need that extra handout.
We have to remember that we don't heal by erasing who we are or who we were. This is where we look ahead very gently. But what does healing look like for you now? Not perfect, just honest. And to start it off, I am healing. I am not healed. I um healing looks like I don't know. I can't I don't know. And that's my honest answer. Like I don't know what healing looks like. I'm not there yet. And I'm okay with not being there yet because I know that I have to still deal with different process and things of that nature.
I can definitely agree with you on that. Like, I'm definitely not there. Like, I'm still not over a lot of stuff. I'm still kind of trying to deal with. I'm still dealing with it. You see what I'm saying? Like, day by day, step by step. It's not gonna happen overnight, but I felt that. Like, yeah, I feel the same way. Like, I just some days are better than others. That's all I can say.
I think the fact that we even recognize that we aren't healed, but we are healing is progress in itself.
I agree.
Um, so I, number one, I just want to say I'm proud of all of you. Because I know, like I said, for me especially, and I'm gonna keep repeating this. I'm not where I want to be in the midst. I'm not where I want to be at all. But I know for a fact I'm nowhere near where I used to be, and that in itself, like I said, I'm not healed, but I'm definitely healing. Um, like I said, I used food was my drug. The fact that I even know how to say I'm full and can stop, that's healing. The fact that I can decipher, like, look, I'm not supposed to be eating this, or I'm not supposed to be eating this at this time, that's healing. The fact that I'm literally sitting at my desk right now and I got like three or four water bottles up here instead of like three or four Arizonas, that's healing for me. So, it is what it is. But just like you said, you're not healed yet, but the fact that you even recognize that, it's a beautiful thing.
I agree. I feel like I don't know what the healed version of me would look like, but even though I'm healing, I am still pretty badass. And yeah, I feel like every day might is not gonna look the same. It's gonna be different. Some days are gonna, like Quan said, there's some days that's gonna be better than others. Some days where it's real ugly, but it's all a part of the process at the end of it.
Yeah, what everybody said, like, I am, what Brose said, I am so glad that we can just all acknowledge how that we're still healing, we're still going through stuff, and but at the end of the day, we all got this, we all striving, we're all blooming, we're all gonna make it. So like everyone said, I'm still healing. I'm not healed and I'm still healing, but as I'm healing, I know that nothing's going to be perfect, but I'm just going to be honest with myself, if that makes sense. And I just want to feel freely and start loving slowly and just continue to do what I've been doing, going through school and letting my peace be louder than my fear.
Yeah, I agree with all of you on that. You guys all hit it on the head. So for me, it's showing up imperfectly. Some days it's growth and peace, and other days it's rest, boundaries, choosing not to push through. It's allowing grief and joy and uncertainty to exist altogether without rushing myself to be better. Healing isn't becoming who I was before, but it's learning how to live gently with who I am now. And like all of you had said, we're healing. We're not healed. It's a process. And honestly, now that I'm thinking of it, I don't know if anybody's actually going to fully be healed. You know what I mean?
I mean, I'm not healed, but I'm working towards it.
So this is not about needs, it's not about demands, but what promise are you making to your mental health from this point on? Um, I'm gonna say to start it off because sometimes people need a couple minutes to think. To my mental health and to myself is I usually put my daughter as a priority and she will always be my priority. If you know me, you know she comes first no matter what. But I need to put my health first. I need to put myself first sometimes. And I need to put things into perspective. And I need to work more on healing because right now it's like I'm a mirror. I'm shattered and you can see the cracks. But in those cracks, you can still see the glimmer of hope. So I'm gonna be working on that.
I have to agree with
So
some. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead, Jess.
I'm sorry. um, so I'm gonna promise that I'll listen sooner instead of pushing through. I'll honor my limits. I'll ask for help when I need it, and I'll stop treating rest as something I have to earn. I want to choose gentleness and honesty and self compassion, even though it's extremely uncomfortable for me.
What was that question, Kate? My bad.
No, you're fine. It said, what promise are you making to your mental health from this point on?
I will agree with somebody in the comments that said, I promise I will not abandon myself again, not for comfort, not for approval, or not for anyone. Just making sure that I put myself first, my mental health, my goals, my everything before I'm there for somebody else, you know? Because I feel like a lot of times I put myself on the back burner, how I feel, what I'm going through, just to be there for somebody else. If I can't do it, I can't do it. I just can't. Maybe I can't do it today, but I can do it tomorrow, you know?
I think for
Facts.
me, it's just to respect and also appreciate progress. Um, we always hear the saying, Rome wasn't built in a day. And I know for me, like I said, that's with doubt, that came with failure. Whenever I did fail at something, that always hit me the hardest. And sometimes when it does hit me the hardest, it's always hard for me to recover. And I know the only way for me to eventually get to the goal that I'm trying to get to is, like I said, I have to respect and I have to appreciate progress. That's the only way I'm going to keep going. And I know somebody just mentioned the people in the comments. I just want to say I definitely appreciate y'all. Like the words and the kind words and just y'all being here for us as we do go through something like this and do speak about everything from our past. I appreciate y'all. Like for real, like definitely.
Um, yeah. Um, so when I read this or heard this, like I kind of went in on it. So I promise to stop shrinking my heart to fit into spaces that don't hold it. Um, to honor my healing like it's a piece of art and not a race that I have to win. Um, and I will no longer apologize for feeling deeply or for being a certain way, crying loudly or loving hard because those are not cracks. They are just proof that I lived through breaking and stayed whole. So I'm choosing myself with the same loyalty I once handed out to everybody that I just let everybody hit. And I'm not surviving anymore, but that I'm arriving, and how I promised to protect my mind that carried me when no one else could or even can.
Yeah, for me, I guess like I promise to like um just like to continue to grow into the person that I want to be without allowing outside noise to like interfere with my growth, and also like to take, your mental health just like anything else in life. It takes managing, right? You have to, every once in a while, like I'll just keep it on me. Like every once in a while, I gotta sit back and just like take a break and take an inventory and see what is, you know, good for me and what's not good for me, and I need to like start to promise to like get rid of the things that are toxic and get rid of the things that are no good for me. And also maybe starting to like speak out more on the struggles that I deal with instead of just bottling it up. Um, because there's a person that I want to be. I'm not there yet. And I know in order to get there, there's a lot of things that I need to get out and deal with. So, one of the things that I had wrote down, like promising myself to like maybe reach out to like a therapist, right? And maybe somebody like that to like maybe sit down and just, be able to like voice some things and get some of this shit off my chest that like, that I'm going through. Because that's something that I've never done. And I think that, maybe it's time for me to do that.
Um, Crap, I lost my train of thought.
If you need a second, you're more than welcome to take your time.
It's basically what everyone else is saying. I'm a promise myself a little bit of everything. Like learn how to not say yes to everybody, not be so feral to cover up my issues. And once my dad helps me track down a therapist that's not related to me, that I could talk to and get stuff off my mind, it's going to really help.
For me, I promise to put me first in every situation. I promise to start enjoying more, having more fun, like being more free. Like it's okay to take a break from everything. It's okay to not go hard 7 days a week. It's okay. But I promise to put me first and keep loving me first, like in everything that I do, like, and not try to just be having everything all bottled up all the time. Like literally, like try to release stuff a little better, like deal with it a lot better than I have been dealing with it. But I promise to put me first this time and love me first. But I do agree with what everybody said though. But yeah.
So, to everyone who spoke tonight, from our amazing co-hosts to the beautiful men up here, um, even though one of the men is our co-host, but the only reason why I turned on my camera is because I want you guys to know that we are immensely grateful for you guys coming up here because that takes so much courage, especially being a man or woman speaking about mental health in general. To everyone listening, thank you for trusting us with your time and your heart. And if this episode reminded you that you're not alone, then it did what it was meant to do. Healing isn't linear, strength doesn't always look strong, and showing up even tired still counts. And if you ever need a safe place, you guys already have a community. Unfiltered the podcast, Unfiltered Gang, what we call ourselves, will always be here for you guys. And this has been Unfiltered, where we speak the truth even when our voices shake. And my voice shaked a lot tonight. Take care of yourself first. And remember, stay unfiltered. Have a good night.